You know, Fallout 4 has a lot of stuff that really just gets on my nerves or pisses me off. So in today's video, I wanted to show you 10 quality of life mods. A lot of these are just going to be simple or quick fixes to kind of modify something about the game that was maybe a little bit obnoxious or the implementation just wasn't quite right. If you guys feel like I missed anything, definitely comment it down below. I'll be reading through the comments and I'll pin anything that seems like it would be a good kind of 11th mod for this list. To start things off, we have a pretty big one. This is going to be the unofficial Fallout 4 patch. Before you get into any quality of life fixes, just download this mod. It does a ton as far as bug fixing and stability control for Fallout 4, but simply it's a very big patch made by members of the community to overall just improve Fallout 4 for the better, things that Bethesda maybe didn't do themselves, so the modding community came together and fixed anyway. So in another pretty large mod, we do have survival options. This is going to allow you to kind of change all the aspects about survival mode. If you're not already playing Fallout 4 in survival mode, I highly recommend it. It's just a much better and more enjoyable experience. What this mod's going to do is basically allow you to tailor the way you do experience survival. By default, there's no saving, fast travel's off, and well, the only way you can actually save is by sleeping, which is kind of obnoxious. This gives you the ability to toggle all of those things, enable some save items so you can have them in your inventory and then hotkey them, and even change some things further. Personally, I like playing survival with auto saving on, but at the same time I like buffing up the damage so it makes things a bit more difficult. All around a very good mod, and another kind of core one that I think you should have right off the bat. So one you probably heard of, but I'm going to mention it regardless, is full dialogue interface. It has 2.4 million downloads, so again, you probably have heard of it or maybe even have it downloaded, but more or less what it's going to do is change the Fallout 4 dialogue system to be more akin to what it was like in previous Fallout games. Rather than having up, down, left, right, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, and again, a traditional dialogue system, so you can kind of see everything you're going to say. It's just more natural, it fits more appropriately into the game, and obviously if it has 2.5 million downloads, a lot of people probably like it. This is one I really enjoy using. This is going to be called QuickTrade. This mod's going to add two fundamental things. First and foremost, now when walking up to settlers, you'll have the ability to just hit R on them and get into their inventory so you could exchange different items. If you guys watch my survival playthrough, you'll notice I have a lot of problems with this. I'm always kind of stuck on different NPCs, having to talk to them to get through that menu. In addition, it adds the same functionality to shop owners. So now rather than having to talk to them, you could just hit R and get to the barter menu right away. This is really convenient. You never realize how useful this is until you have it installed for a little while, and then you'll very quickly start to realize that it is much easier to just use this and you don't have to go through that boring and useless dialogue. As I did mention in the beginning, the only way to save in survival is to sleep. Well, this is going to change that. Rather than just being able to sleep, this mod, Sleeper Save, is going to give you the ability to just save rather than sleeping. It's really obnoxious having to kind of sleep for 1 hour just to save your game because you hit a major milestone and didn't want to lose all of your items. This is especially true on survival because sleeping actually makes your hunger and thirst go down, making you waste more materials, but now just being able to walk up to a bed, hit the R button, and continue on your journey is frankly a lot more nice. FO4 Hotkeys is a pretty large mod, one of the bigger ones on this list. What it's going to allow you to do is hotkey things to some of the non-traditional hotkeys. So by default, you obviously do have 1 through 9 and some of the other keys. Well, this mod's going to allow you to actually assign them to Z and some other letters on the keyboard. In addition, the part I really like is you can now assign things to the Shift times 1. So if you want a stim pack to not be all the way down on the 6 key, you could have it be Shift plus 1. It's just a lot more natural and you don't have to stretch your fingers as much. Another really cool aspect of this mod is you could actually have console commands hotkeyed. So by default, F2 turns off your HUD in addition to F3 toggles free cam. This mod has a lot of functionality and power. You could definitely configure it to really suit your needs, and this is another one that really should just be available in the base game. So this one's super simple, but more or less what power armor animation changes is going to do is make it so entering and exit power armor uses the quick exit and enter stance, the one that kind of happens when you're in combat. Having to go through that long ass opening the power armor and entering it that way is very frustrating. I personally hate it, and I think this is a big improvement over that. So this will without a doubt be the most game-changing mod on this list. What Loot Detector is going to do is highlight bodies that you have yet to loot. This will require you to have the first level of the Scrapper perk, and this is an extremely useful mod. When you clear a big building and there are a ton of bodies that you haven't looted, it's really hard to tell, well, which ones did you already loot? This is going to remove that aspect of the game, and now they will be again highlighted when you have your weapon out. That last part's really key because as soon as you put your weapon away, the highlighting will go away, and it's not as distracting that way. All around, this is a really quality mod. It's a little bit different and more additive than some of the other ones on this list, but I think it really does make a pretty nice and substantial difference. Then we have faster terminal displays. This is going to make it so things at a terminal will just load faster. I'm sure a lot of you by default just spam click so it loads really quick, but now you don't really have to do that. It'll just load much quicker even if you're spam clicking, and it also works with different holotapes that you can use on your Pip-Boy or Pip-Pad if you're stylish. It's another really simple one that just kind of saves you a little bit of time that'll probably add up to be really nice. So then last but not least is one that I personally really like, one of my favorite ones on this list. That's going to be auto lowered weapons. What this is going to do is lower your weapons automatically depending on your closeness to an enemy. There's a lot of mods that do a similar thing to this. The one that this one does differently is it automatically does it. With the other lowered weapon mod, if you're standing right next to an enemy, your weapon will be lowered. That doesn't make any sense. This one detects the enemies around you and it will make sure your weapons are raised or lowered depending on what's going on. This doesn't have nearly as much attention as you would expect it to with only 20,000 downloads. It personally, again, is a mod that I've used a lot. I definitely think you guys should be using it too, and it's really the best lowered weapon mods out there right now. That's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. A lot of these were shorter and simpler mods, but hopefully you found at least 1 or 2, or hopefully 5 to 10 that you found useful in your load order. If you guys enjoyed the content, I encourage you to consider subscribing. You can leave a like or a comment. If you guys dislike the content, I do encourage you to leave a like and comment down below. But yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap it up. Let me know in the comments, is there something I missed? I will be pinning some comment, and I hope to see you guys all next time. So later.